Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to have Dr. Leonardo Veliz with us today. I'm going to ask him a few questions, but first I would like to ask him to introduce himself.
My name is Leonardo Veliz. I'm originally from Chile, from South America. I was born in Santiago. I am married. I've got three children, three daughters, 13, 12, and 5 years old. I live in Australia. I live in Sydney. I've been living in Sydney for about 13 months now. I lived in Victoria, a different state in Australia, in Melbourne for over 10 years. So we moved to Sydney in January 2020, pre-COVID. And yeah, so we've been here for about 13 months now.
So my students mostly want to improve their speaking. So could I ask you to give a tip to students who want to improve their speaking?
Absolutely, yeah. Look, first of all, I believe one important thing that you as students have to always keep in mind is never be afraid of making mistakes. And I understand that confidence or lack of confidence is so important. It is such an important contributor to being able to speak another language fluently and confidently. So do not let your mistakes, do not let your errors diminish your capabilities, your desire, your motivation to speak another language, to speak English. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are a positive thing. They give us an opportunity to learn new things. They give us an opportunity to realize what we're missing, what we need to improve on. So do not be afraid of making mistakes. And the second thing is, when you think about improving your speaking skills, there's no magical thing here. There's no magical secret. I think one of the most important things is to use the language. You need to find opportunities to use the language, to put the language to use. Look, it might be in some cases even speaking to yourself, looking at yourself looking at yourself in the mirror, right? Talking to yourself when you're having a shower. If you don't have anyone around you to speak to practice the language with, talk to yourself. Repeat the phrases that you've learned on a given day again and again. Try to put them in a context. Try to think of situations where you might use the new words, the new phrases, the new expressions in. It's important to practice. Practice makes perfect. So never stop practicing using the language. So those two tips, those two pieces of advice, I would give anyone trying to improve or wanting to start to learn in another language. Never be afraid of making mistakes and make sure that you practice, practice, and practice your language.
So we would like to get to know you more, and let's talk about work. Could you tell us about your job?
I am currently in my office in Sydney. I work at a higher education college. This is called Excelsia College. It's based in Macquarie Park in Sydney. We've got a number of different degree programs in the School of Education, which I look after. I look after the School of Education. I am the head of School of Education. We've got undergraduate and postgraduate programs. So what I do on a daily basis is manage the school, manage the staff, oversee the different programs that we have, make sure that the implementation of the curriculum in all the different degree programs is successful. I oversee hiring procedures of new staff, professional experience of our students, and a number of other things.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. It sounds like it's a big job. Why did you choose that job?
I started as an EFL teacher years ago, and I taught young learners and adult learners for a number of years. But then slowly I began to transition into management positions, managerial positions, and before I came to Sydney, I was I was managing an English academy back in Melbourne. So I was the director of studies and the academic manager of the language program. We had about 250 students in the college, international students from all over the world. They would come mainly from Asia, Southeast Asia, South America. We had some European students as well. And yeah, so I was in charge of the English department there with mainly international students. And then this opportunity came up and I applied for the job, I got the job, and I am now looking at, yeah, this big idea, big project of even developing new programs and new degrees. And yeah, as I said, in charge of the entire School of Education.
Yeah, I see. Thank you for sharing with us your journey. This is just a fun question. Maybe if you had the chance, would you change your job?
That's a very good question, and it's a very important question because it's a question that's been haunting me for a while, right? and and I am actually considering going back to studies, right? So I'm considering doing another degree, which is kind of related to what I did in my PhD. My PhD was particularly in the area of language development in linguistics. So what I've been thinking about, and I believe it's something that is going to be realized in maybe the second half of this year, maybe at the start of 2022, is to do a qualification to do a degree in language therapy. So I am considering the idea of maybe not changing career, but doing another degree, which potentially in the future may allow me to slightly transition into the area of speech and language pathology, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. We can never stop learning, right? So
We
that's a
never stop
wonderful thing
learning.
too. Yeah. So let me ask you maybe one last question. What activities make you lose track of time?
What activities make me lose track of time? I love music. I'm not just listening to music. I love listening to music, but I love playing instruments as well. I think I've been gifted with different talents to play different instruments. I play the drums, I play the guitar, I play a little bit of piano, bass guitar, and my children are learning to play instruments as well. One of my children, one of my daughters, is also very musically talented, and we often play together, we sing together. So that is an activity that takes me to a different dimension, right? So listening to music and playing music as well is something that I'm really passionate about.
Yeah, that's amazing. I would love the chance to listen to your music played with your children sometime in
Yeah.
the future. Yeah, thank you so much. What about you? What is your job? Or what is your dream job? Why did you choose that job? If you had a chance to change your job, what would it be? What activities make you lose track of time? You can practice answering these questions on your own, or if you would like to practice with other students, join the Facebook group called Eduling Everyday English, and we have free speaking opportunities for you. Now, I would like to help you to practice pronouncing a few words that appear in the video. The first one is dimension. The stress is on the syllable right before shen or jin. Television. International. Next, capability. The stress is on the syllable before et, right? Capability, ability, university, diminish, contribute, contributor. I hope that you will take the time to practice pronouncing these words so that you know where to put the stress in those words. Now, when you want to stress a syllable, you make the syllable longer, louder, and of a higher pitch. And you should use your hand like I do so that you can remind yourself to stress on the right syllable. If you want to see more videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post new videos every week. In addition, if you want to see a list of questions that you can use to practice talking about this topic, you can join the Facebook group called Eduling Everyday English, and there will be free speaking opportunities for you to participate in as well. Thank you and see you next time.